The coalition of volunteers is meeting today in Paris.
Around 30 of Ukraine's allies are gathering to boost military support. And why not lock down the Ukrainian sky once and for all? Set up a SkyShield capable of intercepting Russian drones, which now arrive by the hundreds every week, even every day. The SkyShield Collective, which started an online petition, is requesting this. Our guest helped launch the project. Hello, Xavier Teitelman.
Hello, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're a former military aviator, an aeronautics and defense consultant, and you often travel to Ukraine. This morning I saw your petition has nearly 30,000 signatures. You are supported mainly by French generals as well as parliament members and non-governmental organization leaders. Ukraine is about 1.5 times the size of France. Is it really technically possible to destroy all the drones and all the missiles fired by Russia?
That's not the goal. Even Israel, which is smaller, can't intercept 100%. Here our vision is already to protect a few cities in the rear, which are only populated by civilians. We're far from the front line, in cities only minutes by air from borders like Poland and Romania, in 2 different ways, by setting up air defense batteries and detection systems on the ground, and by being able to deploy planes that take off from Poland in 6 minutes. I'm warming up. They reached Lviv in 6 minutes, for example, providing rear support to protect civilians. And we're not going to go rubbing up against the streets on the front line, so...
Detection devices already exist in Ukraine, so the focus should be on strengthening them.
Right. On the other hand,
planes in neighboring countries poised to intervene, that would be us.
First of all, we're talking about systems that would belong to our armies. When you talk to the military today, they tell us we've already given a lot. If we give away equipment we might need in 3 years, we won't have enough. So maybe we're more ready to do what we call external operations, deploy our soldiers with our air defense batteries in those cities that are close to the border. When peace returns in 2 years, we can bring them back. So they'd rather deploy themselves than provide more equipment. And as for fighter jets, our planes are already deployed on the borders of Ukraine in those 2 countries. And here we're talking about bringing them into the country, but without engaging them on the front lines. So we have an external deployment and planes available for patrol.
It would be about protecting the civilians living in those sites who are actually being targeted. Really, especially by the Russians.
Exactly. 93% of Russian attacks, 40,000 missiles since the start, target civilian infrastructure. There have been 2,600 attacks on the healthcare system, and 3,000 schools have been damaged. We're seeing systematic targeting, as in Chechnya and Syria, and we really want to limit ourselves to protecting civilians by intercepting, and I want to stress this, only missiles and drones. We won't shoot down a Russian plane, no escalation. And in fact, when we talk about red lines, it was even worse when we said we would provide missiles that can fire long range. Providing fighter jets results in Russian casualties, but our goal is to save Ukrainian civilians, not to kill Russians.
Isn't there a risk Vladimir Putin would be furious about such an initiative if implemented?
Course, to claim that every time, ban on giving tanks, ban on giving missiles, ban on giving fighter jets, ban on striking Russian soil. All of that, those were Russian red lines that are much worse than the ones being proposed today, which are just common sense, once again. And obviously there haven't been any consequences other than this Russian propaganda that claims every time we support Ukraine, it will lead to world war. Here, we're talking about saving lives. So,
if it's so simple, so easy to implement, and on top of that, it's not a red line, why isn't it already the case?
It's about political will. We already have special forces and trainers on the ground, but mostly hidden. And so, in the end, making this support official, actually having troops on the ground there, would be a strong political gesture. But objectively, we are simply living up to the history of France and Europe. And of all the countries requesting support today, it's...
That's why you talk about a moral duty in your text, the text of the petition. You say it's a moral duty. There is.
And then France has security commitments with Ukraine since our signing in 1995, in which Ukraine agreed to give up its nuclear weapons in exchange for security guarantees offered to them by France, Great Britain, the United States, China, and also Russia. Clearly, it didn't work. We have a moral duty to civilians attacked daily. We have the capability. We did it for Israel by intercepting and stopping drone tools. When we were in Sarajevo, we didn't wait for a ceasefire in Sarajevo or for the snipers to stop shooting. We went there, saved people, and were effective. We just want to do that.
Already did it, actually. That's it, exactly.
That's why top generals are supporting us today, including former 4-star air operations directors from France and Belgium. It's technically realistic, so
Yoku, I'll ask you the question again. So if it's so simple and realistic and it's already been done in the past, why isn't there the political will? What's blocking it? I think that
There's also a whole perspective that says, up until now, let's let diplomacy speak. Let's give Donald Trump a chance. When he tries to discuss, we've been doing so for 3.5 years. No one said to stop negotiating. From the moment we put pressure to protect civilians, we have to understand that we're also seeking to achieve peace. Russia wants two things. It is either trying to take Ukrainian territory through military action. It's clear it's stuck. In 1,000 days, they've taken only 1% of Ukraine. Progress is very slow. So they won't achieve the annexation of Ukraine by force. The second possibility is to make the Ukrainian rear collapse. If we manage to protect civilians and prevent the collapse of Ukraine, that is to say, Putin knows that this second objective is not achievable. Logically, this will push him to accept the peace negotiation. Who are you talking to?
to move your project forward? Is it mainly with the military, the general staff, or are there also politicians, leaders, and maybe Emmanuel Macron? Well, we hope so. We know that
The Élysée and Ministry of the Armed Forces are aware, and we are in contact with veterans. Those who are current general officers, deputies, or politicians can't take a position right now. It has to come from the top, but when we have four-star generals, when we have the president of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the National Assembly supporting us, we now know this has strong support. Abroad, the former Polish president and the former foreign ministers of Lithuania, we have the British, both of them from NATO, the former ones, who have already supported this SkyShield operation. So today we don't have an official counterpart. We know very well that there's this meeting today that's going to take place with the coalition of volunteers, and from the moment we make that observation, the objective is that Russia does not want peace, since they keep postponing, finding reasons not to meet with Zelensky, etc. We hope that will be the next step. We can't wait and tell a victim, we'll wait until you stop getting beaten up before we come to help you. No, today we can help them, save lives. Thank you, Xavier Teitelman. Let's save the civilians.
Russian drones, let's close the sky over Ukraine. That's the title of our petition, which is online on Change.org. Friends, I'm counting on you to